Hey, what's up, folks? So I'm back here again. I'm still using that Zoro rush deck, trying to really get my mind around the actual game itself. I'm putting a lot of time in with just this single deck, really, so I can start to really understand like the phases and how I want to work things through. So I'm going against Justin here, a very formidable opponent, and I got to be on my A game. So I'm like, all right, well, I got to come out rushing. I got to come out hard. And especially going against Purple Kaido, who is definitely, like, for me, what I've noticed when it comes to playing against the Kaido deck or my rush deck in general is I'm very strong in the beginning because I can get my pieces out quicker. I can get my attacks in faster. But towards the end game, when the heavier, larger opponents start to come out, I usually only have Shanks that I can rely on. And sometimes he's just not strong enough to deal the damage needed. But yeah, so I'm using starter deck Nami there, and I'm using, I want to keep her in my deck on my field for her ability to give up that rested Dawn to my leader. And since no one can really destroy her except with an effect, it makes her very useful and annoying to the opponent because they have to really dedicate to just getting rid of her. So in this one, I see he's not really able to put anything on the field at the moment to defend. So I'm like, okay, well, let me save my characters, beef up my characters, bring them out. But then as soon as I start thinking that, he brings out these two. So I'm like, okay, when I have two cards here I have to deal with, both sitting about 5,000-6,000. So I have my, my Rush Zoro there, Leader Zoro, and then my Nami. Now, the one thing with the Nami is I want to make sure I'm at least summoning a monster every turn to make sure I can utilize that ability to attach the one rested Dawn. So I do have the booster pack Nami here, putting out booster pack Nami just to go ahead and grab Sanji for the 2K counter, and if I need to get the 6,000 boost essentially off him. So that's great. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'm still in a pretty good position. He has 4 life here, but I haven't done too much of my rush yet. But now I'm feeling like this should be my opening here by rushing in with Leader Zoro. If I can force him to get rid of any counters. So one of the things I try to do is just go leader to leader as often as possible. Just base as well, just to force them to give up a 1K or 2K counter. Because most folks have, a deck full of 2K counters. So if I can force you to use a 2K counter on something that you don't need a 1K for, you're gonna be irritated because you wasted it essentially for something you didn't need it for. So I'm like, okay, cool. Just going leader to leader, trying to go in and just rush in. So now he's down to 1 life, which is very fantastic for me. So he's down to 1 life. I'm still sitting on 4, and I'm feeling good about it. Now, of course, one of the greatest strengths of my deck is the ability to attack fast, but one of the weaknesses also revolves around the fact that now all my characters are vulnerable for attacks. So that's always something I have to look out for and worry about, because do I have enough counters in hand? Do I want to protect the characters over the leader? So like right now, I'm leaning more towards protecting my characters so they can stay on the field and continue to apply pressure over protecting my leader, because I want to take the damage to get the extra cards in hand. So as you see there, I'm just ditching the counters to keep the characters on the field. But my biggest concern here is that he hasn't really brought anything out yet, and he still has Dawn. And now I'm out of counters, no blockers. I'm kind of just stuck. So now he brings out the King, and he nukes my Rush Zoro. So the cards I just used, all those counters to save, are just gone in one swoop. And I'm like, okay, it's tough, but I'm still in a pretty solid position, having at least the Nami on field, so I can still use the rested, use the rested Dawn. I'm trying to bring out Frankie to start attacking some of his active characters next turn. And I'm like, okay, well, let me just beef up Zoro, leader a little bit, and again, force him to just get rid of some counters from hand, or force him to just be on that last life, so he has to play a little bit more reckless. But he decides to counter that, and I'm like, okay, well, So now I'm sitting here thinking, I guess I can beef up, just booster pack Nami, because no one's using her. She's at 2,000, 3,000 with Zoro, so she's pretty powerful. Plus that gives her 7, swinging that leader and force him to either ditch counters or just take the L on the life. And I think he chooses to take the L on life, but I'm like, okay, not a problem. No, so he ditches the counter. So now he's definitely low, and I'm feeling good. Him not having any blockers on field for the next round. If I can get a rush and my leader to do work, I should be in a very solid position. And at this point, he hasn't used his leader Kaido's ability at all yet. So I'm definitely concerned about that. But now he's getting heavy up there on life. So I know 10-drop Kaido is probably going to pop up next turn. And that's a concern for me because 10-drop Kaido drops. And when he drops, I am just sitting there with nothing. Nothing at all. And it's like, oh, he's a force to be reckoned with. So I'm worried about that. Now he has more than... He just has what he needs, and his field is starting to set up. So as you see, like I said earlier, the beginning game was powerful, right? For me, I knocked him out 4 life. He's down to 1. I'm feeling good. And his opening only got rid of 1 of my life. But now the pendulum is starting to swing and shift over into his area for a purple deck, having the strength, the numbers, and just the sheer power behind his combinations is definitely a concern for me. And it even gets more reckless because now I'm just like, I need to get him twice. Just 2 hits to his leader and I win. That's it. Just 2 hits to leader and I win. So now I'm starting to think maybe I'm getting a little concerned about what I'm gonna do next. And now I'm just like, okay, well, I can just really beef up leader and just go directly into his leader because he doesn't have any blockers and he won't have enough counters. But that's reckless because now all my active Dawn are being used for my leader. So he's strong, but blah. And I have no cards in hand. So I'm out. That's it. I don't have the cards necessary. And he has 4 attacks he can lay on me. And we talked about this at the end. He definitely could have used his leader's ability to send 7 of his to the Shadow Realm, 7 Dawn, get rid of 1 of my life, and then I would have been down, and he would have been able to take that, most likely, because I don't think I had any of the necessary counters I needed. Now, of course, having the 2-year was useful, and I think with this one, I just took a 2K counter, and I was just like, I'm just gonna have to, I took a blocker chopper. So I was thinking future, because I was like, he doesn't have enough to take me out. And I wasn't even thinking about his leader's ability, nor was he. That saved me that he didn't think about it. So I'm thinking future, blocker chopper. And okay, so now I have 2 life, survived that one a lot easier than I thought. I drop out Big Daddy Shanks. And I'm like, all right, I just need some more. I need some more power on my side. So I still have the starter deck Nami, but at this point, I forgot her ability was even a thing because I'm so just stuck on what he has sitting on his side of the field to deal with. So instead of even giving the rested Dawn to my leader, like I should have, yeah, I missed out on all that. So they reminded me, and I was like, oh yeah, you definitely probably should have done that, because at this point the game's over, and I just rushed in heavy to his leader, and he was out. And we just went over how we both made pretty solid mistakes in it. But all in all, it was a fantastic match, and I got lucky to come out with that one, because it was tough. The purple deck is still one of my hardest decks to go against at the moment, just because, like, again, I can start off so fast, but towards the end, it starts to fizzle out, and that's when, like, the end game for the purple deck really shines. So my opening is really strong, but my end game is weak. And yeah, we were just showing everything I had here for prizing, and it wasn't going to save me in any way, shape, or form. But all in all, great battle, fantastic. And yeah, do me a solid favor, subscribe to the channel, and I'll put up some more of these amazing One Piece contents. Isn't that right, baby? Aren't I amazing?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes, my wife thinks I'm amazing. Yay.